skill set didn't exist, but does. It was unionised, so you couldn't at that stage work in television unless you were a member of the union. And you couldn't get your union membership unless you were sponsored by two people who approved you. So not everybody could get in at that stage, which meant it was possibly easier for us, yes.
So why did you move from being a production manager to work in a...
Working in film? Well, I was freelance, as I said, and I was very lucky. I worked on some really brilliant shows. I worked with Muriel Gray and her company a lot, so they got very extended productions. So we were doing 3-4 months on a production, and then there'd be a break and another production. But I think the life of a freelancer, where it's a day here, a day there, 3 months if you're lucky, is great when you're young. But I wanted to have children, and I wanted to know where my income was coming from. So I started to look around for ways that I could stay involved with film and television, but have a more controlled life. So the film office was something I dealt with when I was a filmmaker, and I went to see the guy who ran it and just asked him whether he needed any help and what I could do. So, and then I just stayed, actually. I came in to sort out the databases, and then brought the experience I had of production to the film office. And so it just went from there. And this is a great job for still being connected.
So what is your advice for people who are making the first step in the creative media industry?
I think do your research. Look at things like the Skill Set website. They have very detailed information for the kind of jobs that are out there, how you get into them, what they mean, how you move up. That somebody's sort of thought about, because it does exist, and you can find out more. I think people who have done courses and are used to working together and making their own films, that's brilliant, because you've used college to give you a portfolio. The hard step is that entry level, and most of the people we deal with are doing it by getting in as runners. I think a lot of people come in saying, I want to be a director, I want to be a producer, but until you've kind of proved yourself at a professional level, you're maybe less for the directors but more for the producers. It's unlikely that you're going to walk into a producing job without having moved up through production management and all of the sort of levels of experience you need.
You're doing a lot of lectures around the colleges
yes.
in Edinburgh. What do you think about the students' work? Have you seen the students' work?
Yeah, Rosie and I make an attempt every year to kind of choose who goes to which colleges shows, so that we can see what you're screening. We're always really impressed by what people manage to do, and no money, and just very talented and very inspiring to see what the students are producing. And Rosie in particular is very good at remembering people's names. So she'll say I've heard her on the phone. She'll say to people, "Oh, I saw your film. You're so." People do notice that and people do go to those degree shows, and they are looking at who's coming up. Is that I don't think I answered your question though.
Yeah. You're running like a film office, running training for runners. Can you say a few words about that?
Yeah. Mostly film offices at the level that Edinburgh Film focuses are about locations and inward investment and trying to bring people here to film. But we want those films, when they come here, to hire local crew. And what we noticed very much was that we were getting a lot of calls from people saying, where's your runners list? Your runners list is really long, but what experience have they got? So where I would see running as an entry level, where you just need to be bright and turn up on time and do as you're told and be charming. We were getting calls from production managers saying, yeah, but they need to be experienced. And we're going, well, how can they be experienced if they're just starting out? How do they get that experience? So, and I think we weren't alone in that thought process. And so the people at the New Entrants Training Scheme had been discussing this too. And we talked to them about what could be done to develop just even a one-day course, so that the basics could be discussed, that the people who were interested in starting out runners could come on that course and they're doing them around the country, so that they have just that grounding, so that when we manage to get you on a set, the first day you know what is expected of you, what the job entails, how to think about it. And so we, but that has to get paid for, and we don't have a lot of money, so we're trying to do one a year. We put the call out. It's not really aimed at people who are still at college, it's aimed at people who are just finishing or just trying to start out. And they come for a day, and they're put together with people from the NETS training scheme, with production coordinators. In the afternoon, people who are working in the industry come in, and there's a very honest discussion about, what your CV should look like, just basic stuff, what your CV should look like, how to approach people, do you phone them, do you email them, just, those kind of basic questions. And then talking through what a schedule's going to look like, what your day might involve, who's who on a film set, what's expected of you. And then in the afternoon, and I think very generously, the people that come in from the industry, I sat in on one where they told their worst stories they'd ever, the biggest mistakes they'd ever made. And boy, there was some very good mistakes. I can't believe you did that. But that just shows people, that everybody starts somewhere. Those courses hopefully will run around Scotland, and so it's worth people checking in with the film office as they're coming to the end of their degrees. And there are film officers across the UK as well, to see what they've got and whether they're doing anything like that. At the moment the course is free, so look out for it.
Thank you very much, that was really helpful.
We had Evelyn Glennie, do you know her?